So the title update 16 PTS is finally out and phase 1 is over. I'd like to give my thoughts on the changes as there are many. Basically, I just want to touch on the new changes, give some general feelings, what I liked a lot and what I didn't like as much. So if you're into that, like and subscribe for more Division content, and let's get right into it. So first up, we have the countdown changes. There are a lot of them. I like the changes to the game mode, and the loot scaling seems appropriate given the level of challenge that comes with each difficulty mode. I do think there might be some concerns about the number of players within the matchmaking pool, especially at lower difficulties, but as the game becomes more available to more players, this should be okay. I think there's a Gamescom sale coming up, so hopefully we should get an influx of new players into the Division franchise. I think this will be alright. So normal can be completed solo without a fantastic endgame build and basically feels like your standard fare normal mission, not bad at all. Enemies fall over pretty quickly and the time to kill isn't a huge issue even solo. You can get this done pretty easily. Hard mode is designed for groups of 8 casual players, and this wasn't too bad with 8 casual match-made agents with no communication. I recommend a DPS build for this as enemies are a bit harder and a lot of the countermeasures are focused on negating your agent's skills. Overall good, I'm glad this is in here. Challenging, which is the current difficulty available at the release of Title Update 15, designed for a group of 8 match-made players. Massive said that it can be completed by a group of 2 to 4 hardcore players, which will have to become as the stability of the group is a little iffy at the moment with deltas and PC crashing especially. Heroic, which is best for 4 to 8 hardcore players. Heroic feels absolutely brutal, especially at the extraction, which is hard enough on the current difficulty. If you're going to do Heroic Countdown, make sure you have a good build and good team communication. I recommend a Negotiator's Dilemma build or perhaps a long-range rifle build as things can get especially hairy up close. These new difficulties in conjunction with the new countermeasures are a great way to increase depth and nuance within the countdown mode, and overall I'm very happy about it. Good changes overall in my opinion. Let's talk about the new countermeasures. So speaking of the new countermeasures, yeah, they exist. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I'll touch on the ones that were notable and caused a noticeable reaction in gameplay. Some were good, some were not so good. And if you didn't think that Massive wants to limit or kill skill builds in PvE, well here comes skill suppression. Once an enemy is dead, an EMP will be deployed, which is a disruption effect that can affect agents and their skills within 15 meters radius. Basically, it nullifies your skills and makes them unusable. The deactivation benefit is that enemies will no longer deploy an EMP after they die. Players will reduce a 25% preliminary skill cooldown if they kill an enemy within 15 meters radius. The benefit here is that you can actually use your skills in a PvE setting. Interesting move. The new explosive resistance countermeasure, enemies gain 100% explosive resistance. The deactivation benefit is that enemies will no longer have extra explosive resistance and agents gain 25% explosive damage. I feel like this is primarily targeted at the mortar turrets, and in particular I think it's like the rigger build. Like I said, it kind of just nullifies the skills, especially in the early game. Armor protection. Enemies receive plus 25% incoming armor repairs. The deactivation benefit to this countermeasure is that enemies will no longer get extra armor repairs. Agents gain a plus 25% for incoming armor repairs. I can kind of see what they're going for here. Many players tend to stomp high-end content and heroic with skill builds and DPS builds, and they seem to be doing their best to mitigate the effectiveness of skill builds especially. For one, I think this is a pretty interesting move. I'm curious to see how most people will respond to these changes. Hostile skill damage resistance. Enemies gain plus 50% skill damage resistance. The deactivation benefit is that enemies will no longer have extra skill damage resistance. Lovely. Same exact point as before. I hope you don't rely on a skill build when you get EMP and skill damage resilience countermeasures at the same time. Those hunters will not die. So it's pretty clear that I have some thoughts about the countermeasures. I don't really like that the countdown mode starts you at an extreme disadvantage, especially if you want to use your skill builds, which are actually fun in PvE and where I think that they should be used and where they should be strong. But what I will say is you do feel way more powerful after the countermeasures are defeated. They kind of seem to kill diversity though and funnel players into DPS builds to deal with the hunters, and now with the skill damage and EMP modifiers, skill builds are effectively worthless at the start of any countdown match. These countermeasures make it extremely difficult to find success in any other type of build other than a DPS or perhaps a status effect build, and I'm not sure that's the kind of sandbox Massive wants going into Title Update 16. Now that we've got Countdown out of the way, let's talk about the new gear sets and the new brand sets. First up on the list we have Jeff Bezos. Oh, sorry, I mispronounced that. It's Arcaba's Brazos, the new gear brand set. One piece gives you 10% skill haste, 2 pieces gives 1 skill tier, and 3 gives 20% increased ammo capacity. This kind of seems like your standard utility set, nothing immensely special about this. The 20% ammo capacity seems like a weird talent to pair with the 2 skill focused ones, as it seems like if you wanted to use this set, you'd be doing so in a more skill focused build or some sort of longer cooldown skills. It also seems like it's trying to simulate the effect of the True Patriot ammo capacity buff, but like I said, it doesn't seem to fit all that well. Like I said, for skill and status effect builds, this seems to be pretty good, the 2-piece at least, and the 3-piece bonus seems pretty negligible. Next up, we have the Umbra Initiative gear set. This one's interesting to say the very least. Takes a little bit to wrap your brain around the talents, but it seems pretty strong and the 2 talents have some decent synergy between them. The 2, 3, and 4 pieces bonuses are as follows. 2 pieces equipped gives plus 15% crit chance, 3 gives 30% reload speed, and 4 gives access to the 2 unique special talents based on player positioning from the shadows and into the light. The From the Shadows talent. While in cover, gain 10 stacks per second up to 50. Each stack will give 1% critical hit damage and 0.5% RPM. The buff does not apply when shooting from cover. While out of cover, you lose 4 stacks per second at a normal speed and 2 stacks per second if running. Into the light, while out of cover and in combat, you gain 10 stacks per second up to 50, and each stack will give 0.5% armor regen when it's consumed. Stacks consume 10 stacks per second only in cover. This set's pretty cool, especially in PvE, and useful in PvP too. It functions as your sort of standard run and gun, also gives a very good survivability aspect as well. The idea is that you're supposed to chain times when you're in cover and when you're out into quote unquote into the light. It takes a lot of mental brain power to make this thing work, but I think, you know, the Division community will be able to find this one and put it into the pantheon of the great gear sets. Next up, let's talk about the new weapons. First up, we've got the exotic Dr. Home, which is the exotic variant of the M1A CQB rifle. The talent shooting an enemy with Dr. Home applies a mark, and when marked, the target drops a 15% armor repair kit. This weapon's super useful in legendary content or PvE, but I don't really see this being super useful in PvP unless you have like a dedicated marksman in your manhunt group. You really need them to hit a headshot. They do, and it drops an armor kit, so you can continue your manhunt. It seems pretty alright. A lot of people in the community have wanted the armor repair kit to also give bonus armor, but at the moment it does not. Perhaps in phase 2 we'll see that. The new exotic gloves of the Bloody Knuckles comes with the talent Over the Top. Throwing a grenade or striking an enemy with a melee attack activates the Seeing Red buff. Seeing Red grants 25% weapon damage and 100% melee damage. Seeing Red lasts 20 seconds and has a 60-second cooldown. While in cooldown, striking an enemy with a melee attack or hitting an enemy with the effect of a grenade will complete the cooldown instant. This definitely requires a lot more testing, but I definitely think if you're using some sort of tank build with a shield and you melee a target with your shield, I think it could be really good, and it activates the Seeing Red buff and you keep chaining it. I think this is a pretty good thing to add into the game, and it's definitely unique. I haven't really seen much things like this at all. Overall, good addition. There's some new named weapons, but I think I'm gonna pass on those for right now. But the new legendary difficulties for Tidal Basin and Manning National Zoo are amazing. The Division 2 needs more pinnacle level PvE content to keep the PvE players satisfied, and here we are with the legendary version of Tidal Basin and Manning National Zoo. I, for one, am super happy about these new additions, as Tidal Basin's my favorite mission in the game, so I might be a little bit biased, but I think it feels right. The missions are tuned to be just brutal enough for a 4-man group, and since Tidal Basin's a little bit more mechanic heavy than other missions, it feels a little bit more raid-like, especially with the super high difficulty. So all in all, kudos to the team. The countdown changes feel great. There was a myriad of quality of life changes and UI changes, as well as character customizations and stuff like that. Everything in the PTS is feeling good right now and feeling super nice. I actually haven't noticed any PC stability issues. I mean, there's been a few deltas, but I haven't really been getting booted out of the game, knock on wood. But all in all, if anyone from Massive is watching this, keep up the great work. I think what you guys are doing are good. PvP specific changes would be super nice to have, but you know, I get it. What are you gonna do? We are just gonna have to wait till season 11. That's when Yannick said that we can see something about it. But yeah. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And don't forget to drop a comment below telling me what you think of the PTS. And yeah, get out of here now, all right? I'm done. I'm through with you. Deltah out. Peace.